It's gonna be an awesome show tonight. Two of my favorite things, branding and makeup. Are you ready to get started? Let's get it, people! Hello and welcome to another episode of The Lipstick Effect. I am your host, Jamila Bannister, and I am so happy to be here with you another Tuesday evening to discuss things of beauty, things of business, things of branding. And tonight we are going to be talking about a few things that I really, really love, namely makeup. You guys, you always know I spend a lot of time on doing my makeup because I like it. It's leisurely. It's like relaxation time for me. Some people have a drink by the pool. Some people, go out and smoke a cigar. I like to do my makeup. It's fun. All right, so I just want to say hello and good evening and welcome to everybody viewing this week. And of course, we have our special guest here who is in our green room drinking champagne and having caviar and, eating all the great snacks we have back there. We have the best green room in all of the internet because it's always I'm seeing she has something else there. She just hit the bar and got something else. So she will be that's Seagrams. You got Seagrams as well. All right. So everybody is having a great time. So I hope you guys are having a great week so far and you enjoyed your weekend last weekend. All right. So let's not waste too much time. Let's jump right into things. You guys know I like to give you a little bit of review of Personality Magazine, and I have an update regarding personality as well. So, as you know, Personality Magazine is the magazine where I talk about personal branding and I give advice, I tell stories, and we really have a good time producing this magazine and blog. But of course, with this shift in tide, with the things I am doing now, from personal branding to branding for beauty brands and self care brands, which I absolutely love, personalities content will start to shift in that direction. Now, of course, some of the things I am doing already reflect that. So we do interview a lot of makeup artists and we interview people into fashion and that kind of thing. So I mean, it's quite fun as it is. So let me just share one. Let me just do a highlight from one issue that we did uh, in Q3 of 2021. This was the issue where we focused on the brand health check. And the brand health check really was an issue that dove into different things for you to check to see how your brand is doing. And in this issue, we spoke to a makeup artist here. Her name is Amila Thomas. Many of you may know her as Makeup by Pinky. Um, all right, so this issue is still catching up. A little bit slow on the draw, but they're catching up, right? So this issue, definitely go check it out. The articles in here are super duper helpful. One written by Tamara Monlouis, and she gives you a full rundown on how to check to know if your brand is doing well, right? And this article, I'm here. I'm like, these are four business people that every business owner should know or should have in their back pocket. And of course, we did this wonderful article on the color blocking queen, Pinky Amila Thomas, and she really goes deeply into how she made it from just being a girl from Cocorit's international sensation when it comes to makeup and business, and also having her own line of makeup. So, if you want to learn about her journey, I definitely want you to check out this issue and check out all the issues we have for personality. And you would see that the information is really helpful and it can really give you a good insight into how do I apply this information to my business. All right. And I also want to make another announcement regarding personality as well. We are looking for contributors to the blog, and even to the magazine, but the blog most of all, because the blog is something that we're going to be putting out articles on every month. So we are looking for, if you are a beauty blogger, if you want to get your content game up and you really want to be able to contribute in that way. Personality, we are here and we are looking for contributors. So, of course, please email me, editor at personalitymagazine.com. I will get your email, and then, of course, tell me what you want to write about, tell me what you have in mind. I'll be more than happy to make a space for you on the blog. We are all about educating people about brands and about beauty. And of course, the blog is going to really focus on beauty education now. So we really want you to bring out your best if you want to be able to recommend anything to do with hair, skin, self care, even a self care routine that may not include a product necessarily, but something to help people take care of themselves. We want to hear about it. So please visit the website personalitymagazine.com. Send us a message, send me an email. My contact information is on that website. Check out our media kit, see what we're about, and you will be able to contribute to the blog. So we are looking forward to that. All right. All right. So I also wanted to highlight a couple of things that we would have done yesterday. So I don't know about you guys, but let me tell you something, especially for the ladies who may be looking at this. Now, if you're watching this broadcast live, please put live in the comments. But if you're watching it on the replay, please put replay and leave some lipstick emojis, because of course this is the lipstick effect, right? So just drop it. We like to feel the love around here. We like to know when people are watching back this broadcast, right? Now, you see me here dressed up. I got my makeup on. I got my little blush on, my little pink lipstick on. But you know what? Doing this is a production, and it takes a lot of effort. And I know for many of us, women in particular, who want to do content and want to show up, it's hard for us, and it's harder for us because we may be thinking, my skin is not cooperating today, I'm not feeling to wear makeup today, my hair is not combed today, it's not neat, it's not like brushed back real neat and slick back looking real good. And this might seem silly to some, but this is a real challenge that may lead to us not actually making any video. We might just say, you know what, I'll just make that tomorrow, I'll make that next week, or I'll do it another time, right? And we just never make the content. So I realized I'm not the only one who feels that way. So I actually came up with 5 things for you to do that can help you produce that video content, and that can help you still remain relevant, still remain on top of your game, still remain visible. And this is especially for people who may be in the beauty and self-care space, where there's probably additional pressure for us to show up made up, for us to show up in a real um um neat and well packaged way. I mean, every day is not makeup day. Sometimes you just want to relax. You know what I mean? But as my mother says, jump high or jump low. We got to make this content. All right. So before I tell you the 5 tips, I just want to say hello to Michelle. Thanks for coming on. Michelle is out there in Temecula, California, dropping her good vibes. We appreciate you, Michelle. We appreciate your good vibes coming through, right? All right. So let me just drop these 5 on you real fast before we get into tonight's interview. So, do you want to show up on more video, and do you want to continue engaging with your audience? Of course, you have to make content. So, if you want to get your video content in and you don't want to feel additional pressure, here are some ways I've come up with to help you. The first one is to incorporate live streaming into your content. It might seem counterintuitive, but hear me out. One of the reasons I love live streaming is because I get to do this once a week, right? Just once. I don't have to do it twice and 3 times and show up every single day. But this same live stream continues to live and continues to show up. I can also take parts of this live stream and place it on Instagram. I can place it on YouTube, and I can really get people. I could even send out emails to send people to, hey, go look at it, check out the replay, and it could really be something that is super duper useful. So maybe you want to incorporate live streaming into your content strategy, and it also allows you to really engage with your audience, talk to people, check out the comments, give them feedback, allow them to ask questions, right? So live streaming I like because I really have the time. I have like 5 days to prepare. I know I'm going to show up on a Tuesday evening, so I gotta comb my hair. I have to do my makeup, I have to wax my brows, and I have to pick my look. I already know what it is, right? So you could do that too, incorporate live streaming into your broadcast, into your content strategy. Sorry. The second thing I would definitely recommend you do is that you batch create your video content. So if you are the person who's going to be releasing a lot of videos, like if you're doing YouTube in particular, or you're doing a lot of IGTV videos, or maybe you like to do a lot of reels, just do a batch of them and just release them one by one so that you don't have to mm, show up every day or try to film and edit every day. It takes a lot out of you. And of course, it could be very overwhelming. Right? So, batch create your content. If you're a real hardcore video maker, this could help you as well. My third recommendation, of course, is to incorporate stories into your content. Now, when it comes to stories, no, LinkedIn no longer has stories, but Instagram has stories, Facebook has stories. I mean, they're going to disappear in 24 hours anyway, right? And usually stories, people forgive the stories more easily. You know, it's behind the scenes. Sometimes you're at home and you're just kind of doing your thing. So you definitely want to use stories as a way, use it as your main way of communicating with your audience if you know you're not inclined to really be about the video all the time because it is a lot. My fourth tip here is to include your dress down look in your video. Just tell people, hey, I'm not dressing up today. I'm just chill. I'm relaxed. This is me. This I'm all natural. You know, I mean, just it's keep it real, keep it authentic, keep it easy, right? And people like and appreciate when people are authentic and real with them. So you can make it a part of your content. And my fifth and final tip here is to use alternative types of content. Video isn't everything. Video is good. Video is a great way to grow. But you know what? You could supplement, do some text posts, do some carousels, do something else that works for you, and really incorporate your audience. You know what I mean? Blog. I mean, there's so many options that you can incorporate. You could use audio, podcasting. You could use Clubhouse. You could really get it in there. All right. So I hope these 5 tips help in terms of you getting your content in. And I think it will be really useful. I like to live stream. That's my personal favorite one. And it allows me to do a whole lot more in the week. And I do text post as well. Right. So, but as a business owner, as a beauty brand, you can't not do content. You have to do something, especially if you're an up and coming business. You need to build that bridge between yourself and others, and content is what allows you to build that bridge. Content is what brings people closer to you, so you can't not do it, right? But of course, find a way that works for you. All right, so those are my 5 tips. So now that I've gotten through that, we heard about Personality Magazine. I'm going to check in on my guest, right? And I am really excited to introduce this beautiful, wonderful person, right? And she is our first international guest on the show, hailing from the DMV area, which is DC, Maryland, Virginia. Am I correct? I hope I am. I've been up and up on my US pop culture and my geography, so I know those places, okay? So come on, put down that caviar and close up that drink. Come on up, Miss Kendra Bliss.
Hi. Thank you so much, Jamila, for having me tonight. How is everyone doing? Happy Tuesday.
Yes,
It's just an honor to be here. When I got the invitation, I was like, yes. So,
yes.
yeah, I'm so excited for tonight.
Me too, and I'm glad that you're finally here. I know we've been talking for a while.
Yes.
So, new year, new things, and I'm really excited to kick things off tonight. How much I love makeup. I mean, after all, right?
I
So I think
know.
we have that in common.
Yes.
So the first thing, of course, now I know you, but introduce yourself to the people. Tell them a little bit about who you are and where you are from.
Okay. Are we going to get deep into where I'm from? Or are we just going to talk
We can start easy and then we go deeper
about
as we go.
We'll start easy.
Yes.
Well, my name is Kendra Bliss. I am a traveling makeup artist located in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Yes, you got it right, Jamila.
Yes. Really?
Um, I serve women of color. So women come to me when they're looking for that natural, timeless, look. When they're looking to go for a photography session and they want their descendants to look back on these pictures and say, oh, yes, she looked good. And she even looks good now. So I'm not really on like the trendy makeup, like the Instagrammy makeup. I'm more so a natural, timeless, flawless makeup artist. I do have my fun where, pops of color on the lip or like editorial shoots that I just keep my creativity going. But for the most part, I do photo shoots and weddings, and maybe someone wants to update their headshots for their business. And I also educate. So when women just want to learn how to do a basic everyday look and get those products,
Yeah.
I'm able to shop for my clients and, just send the products to their door. So it just takes away that extra hassle of trying to figure out what shade am I and
I love
trying to
that.
those people. Yeah. So just bringing value, especially to, like I said, women of color, because it seems like until recently we've been like forgotten about. I remember
Really?
going into the
Really?
drugstore. You have
Yeah.
like these beautiful Caucasian colors, but then they stop at like medium tan. Like what? Like how does that serve us as, medium to dark to deep tones? It
Yeah.
doesn't. So beauty brands have gotten hip, and Fenty was the one that everybody was like, wow, look at the range. So
Yeah.
it's just nice to see that people are catching on now. But for me, that is who I am. And yeah, that's basically who I am now. But the story, did
Yeah.
you get into the story, like where it all started? I don't know.
Well, okay. So I want to get into this story, right? But you talked about focusing on women of color. No,
Mhm.
I love the fact that you do, I guess it's almost like personal shopping, but for makeup. That's really cool. I
Yes.
love that. And I think people will appreciate something like that, especially
Mhm.
if it's a busy professional woman, because I think those are the type of women that you work with, right?
Yes.
Who don't have time to spend 2 hours in Sephora or 3 hours in Sephora. I mean, that is leisure time for somebody like us, for people like us, but for them, they just want to get in and get out, right?
Right.
It's- I absolutely love that. But okay, so it might seem obvious why you chose to focus on women of color, but could you just explain to us why you decided? Because I mean, US is a pretty diverse place.
Mhm.
You know, we have all sorts of faces and skin tones and shapes of eyes and cheeks and lips and that kind of thing. So
Mhm.
tell us why that was your focus.
So I feel like when it comes to passion, you have to have a personal stake in it. So
Right.
my personal stake in makeup artistry was, once there was a time where I wasn't a makeup artist. I was just like, everyday women out there. And I wanted my makeup done. Like I wanted to look good. I wanted to go out and feel good about how I looked. So where did I go? To the counter. Like everybody goes to like the Mac counter or like the department stores where they have all of those different beauty brands, and
Mhm.
the tellers, the people who are helping to sell the products, and to the tellers, they like basically try on different looks on you. Sometimes they're makeup artists and sometimes they're not. But I went to a stand, not gonna name the brand, but I asked them to do, a beauty look on me. And when I tell you,
Uh
it
oh.
she put
Oh, it crashed. It like, psh,
it
psh.
was horrible. She put blue eyeshadow from my eyelid. Like it was just
Too much.
too much. And it was not the color blue for me. Not saying we can rock any color if it's done right, but it just was not placed properly. It's like having the knowledge of how our skin, like what complements our skin, the different ways you're supposed to apply color. Like it's just like a lipstick. You don't just put on like the pasty pink and that's
Yeah.
it. No, you need
Yeah.
to warm up, like do a liner, like let it transition into it, because we're not like, it's not like it's pink on white. It's like pink on brown, it's like blue on brown. How you transition those colors are important.
Yeah.
So the reason why I chose to be a makeup artist for women of color is because women of color, we needed someone who was there for us. And I was like, I'm gonna learn. And so when I learned, people started coming to me, and that's the short story to that, how I became.
Sorry.
Yes, that's the beginning of the story. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna take a minute and just acknowledge some of the people in the community commenting. So we have Gabriel Williams. He's saying, "Let's go!" He was excited for the episode, and we have Nikita. Nikita is saying, "I'm always worried if I got the right shade. This is awesome." So I
Mm,
think she's talking about your personal shopping service, which I think is a great idea. I never thought about that, but I
yeah.
mean, if people could do it with clothes, why not do it with makeup? Why not? I mean, it's so nice. One
Yeah.
thing I did do one time though is I came up with a list and
Mhm.
I created a private list on Amazon and I just sent it. I said, buy these items, buy these, and so they don't have to worry about what to get. So that's another way of thinking of
That's
it too.
another way. That's exactly what I did for my class. I just hyperlinked it all to my Amazon storefront. And after the class,
Baby, get that affiliate income one time. I love that.
yes, yes, exactly.
And Damien is saying, let's go to Milan. Nice to meet you, Kendra.
Nice to meet you, Damien.
Okay. All right. So we started the story where you just got a horrible job done on your skin. And you know what? I understand. I mean, there are certain things I have never had well, of course, we are in Trinidad, of course, so the majority of our population is black and brown women. So naturally, a lot of the makeup here caters to those skin types. But I think still dealing with the natural contours of the face of women of color is very different than dealing with any other race. I mean, we just have to be blunt and honest about it, right?
Mhm.
And it takes a lot. It takes a lot. We have to deal with a lot of things. Hyperpigmentation. We have to deal with a lot of things. We have very full lips. How do you choose which color is correct? How do you do all those? All those things matter, right?
Mhm.
So, um, okay. So you said you had a horrible experience at first. So then you decided, well, okay, I am going to start dabbling and doing this makeup myself.
Mhm. Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about how that DIY journey was. Like what were you doing and what were some of the things that you were trying out?
So, it didn't happen immediately. From the counter, I decided, okay, where are my brown sisters? Like, where are the girls who are already out here rocking the brows, rocking like the makeup? So I went to some close friends who, had a basic knowledge of like products and everything so that they came with recommendations. So then once I got the recommendations, I also have a cousin who sells Mary Kay. So she was able to give me some foundations.
Yes.
Oh,
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
Give me some foundations. And she bought me an eyeshadow palette. Um, so like I was able to like kind of start and explore with, just the basics around me. Um, and then I also sing. So there's certain times where I'm performing and on stage and I want to look good. So that was also another motivator for me to keep practicing. And then let's not forget YouTube University.
I
But
love it.
then back then it wasn't as diverse. Like when I feel like when YouTube University like was in like the first stages, it wasn't as diverse. So trying to look for people that look like you on YouTube, I was typing in WOC after everything that I looked for so that I can make sure it's a woman of color.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, like the DIY really started when I needed to look good for certain events and I had certain places to go. And that was the way that I kept practicing because I always had a performance, always had something to do. People notice, oh, who did this? Who did that? Oh,
Yeah.
I did. Can you do it on me? And that's how that conversations that conversation started, because you start off with your smaller circle.
Yes.
My coach likes to say circle of influence. You
Yes.
start off with them, they let you do whatever to their face, your friends are forgiving,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then you get your practice that way.
Yeah.
So that's how it really started.
Okay. So you did that for a while,
Hmm.
and then of course you maxed out. You maxed out on the DIY and the practice. You. Because I mean, we all do things, and then we find ourselves kind of stuck, right?
Yeah.
So let's just take a moment to acknowledge Nessie is saying, hey, you're sending love, right? Hey, you're sending love.
I'm sending love right back, Nessie.
So, um, right. So you maxed out. So tell me, was there a trigger event or a particular thing or a moment that you were just frustrated and didn't know, like, why is this like this, or that made you say, okay, it's time for me to invest in myself and actually learn how to do makeup artistry properly. Because I know it's no small investment. It takes a
No.
lot to do it. So tell me.
It's not a small investment. Okay, so Instagram got popping. People were posting like other artists. Okay, so when I wanted to learn, I'm starting to follow beauty brands. Okay,
Right.
beauty brands repost artists. I'm following artists now. Now I'm like, who are the artists in my community? I realize a artist that I really looked up to, she lives down the street from me. Like I can walk to her house.
Oh,
And
wow.
140,000 people on Instagram. Like, I'm like, what? Let me take a class. Like, I see her. She was on Housewives doing makeup, Braxton's doing makeup. I'm like, she lives right down the street from me. I need to take a class. I need to learn really, like, because that's the first question. Like, how long have you been doing it? Where did you learn? Da, 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 da. And it's like you max out yourself because you're just like, well, I did the YouTube, I did the DIY. Like, I'm not like at a certain point, your clients are not gonna expand if you're at the same skill set.
Yeah.
So you need to invest. Yeah, so knew that I needed to do that, but the classes at that time were about $500 each class, and it was like 2 hours for 500. And I was like, okay, I don't have that money. I was not even in was I had graduated from college.
Yeah.
um, but just starting to get your feet wet, trying to get a job and everything. uh,
$500. That's a
it
lot
was
of
a
money.
lot. It
Yeah.
was a lot.
Yeah.
Back in 2016. So I started a GoFundMe.
Now, I saw this and I said, how absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
How brilliant. So tell us the story about the GoFundMe and how that went and what was the result of that.
Okay. So the GoFundMe, I just said to Facebook, because they see me posting. So like when your tribe or your people kind of see you putting in that initial effort, that kind of gets them excited too. And then you then say, well, I need to go to the next level. Is there any way that you can help? Of course people helped. Like people helped that I didn't even think that would. So that haven't even talked to me about artistry, even males. Like I think a man donated like $200 to me.
Oh, he's in love with you. I'm sure.
And he reminded me of that like last month. I was like, yeah, I just got my LLC not too long ago. And he was just like, wow, from GoFundMe to LLC, that sounds like a Netflix movie.
Yeah. And you know what? You know what I want to highlight in that? I want to highlight the fact that you were posting content the entire time. You were really building up that initial relationship and really putting it in people's heads, putting it in their face that I'm doing this thing, I'm passionate about this thing, I like this thing. Even when I'm not making any money, even when I don't have a company, I love this. But you see me putting in that effort all the time, posting about it.
It
And
matters so
yes.
much.
So tell me about that.
So there was one time I did this look, and me seeing people on Instagram posting, writing out all their products, tagging all the brands. I said, let me do that too. So I created a look. I created a drugstore look, of course, because I didn't have the high end money. So I created a look using Iman's products,
Hmm.
and she reposted it. I was
Oh wow! Look at that.
like, Iman! Yeah, she reposted it, and I was so excited because I used her beauty products. And then it's like as you keep going, like you start like people start to notice, like when you're operating in your passion,
Hmm.
people notice, people see. I have
Yeah,
so many stories about that. Just creating, and people will turn around and just give me money towards the cause, and I was not even expecting it, or like, wow, you like influencers, like this has happened. And I'm just
yeah,
like, she was like, well, I can't come to this event, but I just want you to know that I see you and you're doing your thing. Here's this money. I'm
yeah,
like, wow. So there's a whole like life lesson to talk about with just that. But content creation, tagging brands, being consistent, um
yeah,
it matters. It doesn't matter if you create something and it gets 5 likes. Keep going.
yeah.
Keep going. Because there was one time I created something and it went viral, 13.2 thousand, 13.4 thousand like plays. So just keep, and it's always the thing you don't suspect to catch
Yeah,
fire that does.
yeah. It's crazy what people kind of hold on to when they've what they see as cool. It's very interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it really is. So I would just say for that, just keep going. Just keep.
So, how much money did you raise in total for your GoFundMe?
So, oh yeah, you want to know that. So,
Yeah,
I think I got really close, or probably, right on the money with the goal. I don't think it like was like, ooh, but I had enough money to pay for the class. So,
yeah,
because I remember I took that class, and I guess she was so like, wow, she has like really good skills for someone
yeah.
who's teaching herself. So she gifted me another class.
Oh wow! So all the good vibes just kept coming over and over again, over and over again.
Ooh, I don't know if everyone believes in God or not, but I saw a quote: the same God who gave you the talent and the dream and the vision will give you the opportunities and the clients.
Yeah,
It just feels like when it's for you, you know? So the good vibes did keep coming. She gave me a class. And then she like announced that she wanted me to be her assistant. I was just like, what? I was just like over the moon at that point.
yeah,
Because it was like my first like 2 years in artistry, and I didn't have any like direction with business at this point. I was just doing.
right, right. You were just the passion was just
It's
fueling
just
things.
there.
So,
Mhm.
so all right. So now that you have done so at this point now you've done your training.
Yes.
So what were you, if you have to say, what was the biggest difference between DIY? If you could just kind of list your top three things
Mm.
that training really did for you, because we have a lot of DIY makeup artists. We have many of them who graduate from the University of YouTube, as you say,
Mhm.
and they're okay with that. Um, but tell us, what was the biggest difference that you spotted in terms of doing your training and how that actually affects your business now?
Perspective is the first word that came to my mind.
Yeah.
Because you're you, and that's just what it is. But if you go to someone else who has different experiences, different outlook, and different just training, they can always impart new knowledge onto you.
Yeah.
So DIY was cool, but then it was when I started working around other artists, I started picking up different things from other people that work, and then you become like a well-rounded artist. So the top 3 things, yeah, perspective is one of them. Um, time. Like people, like, honestly, if you give me the time, I take this time with like brides and stuff, but I can take 2 hours on a face easy. Time,
Yeah.
but time is sometimes of the essence, and you have to get it down and know, like, boom, 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 like this creates a face. Um, and being able to execute that in maybe 30 minutes or less, like that's just what it is, especially for fashion shows or people who need to go.
Yeah.
Um, so timing is, whew. And also something I got from training is, ooh, like technique. Like
Yeah.
there is a process behind even how you hold the sponge. Like
Yeah.
my second class that I got, oh wow, I can't even believe this, but this class was also gifted to me.
Yeah.
This second class, that is basically a third class that I got. Like she spent so much time with me, how I'm holding this sponge and how I'm placement,
Yeah.
like placement, like everything belongs in a certain place on the face.
Yes.
So understanding the theories behind makeup, color theory, placement theory, there's like a math to makeup.
Yes. Yes.
So understanding all of that, I mean, you could do it with DIY, do all this research yourself and try, but it's like if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
So getting the knowledge from another pro artist saves you time, and it teaches you. So I would say just technique, time, and perspective.
Okay.
Those are the things.
Oh yeah, that technique one is like absolutely, absolutely. There's no beating that. There's no be and makeup is equal parts art and science. It's
Mhm.
equal parts art and science. It's design in there. There's anatomy, study of anatomy in there. There's so many things that people take for granted when it comes to studying this craft, and I guess that could be applied to any area in beauty. It really does take art and science to produce
Mm.
really high quality things. You know what I mean? All right, so you talked about those three top things there,
Mhm.
and I want to talk to you a little bit about how investing in this thing in your craft now, because now you're trained and now you're moving up now. So what happened between your LLC establishment and you graduating from this these classes? What was it that you did? Is it that you went on to do something else and sharpened up in a little bit more, or is it that you kind of jumped from one to the other?
Okay, so between my classes that I took, I'm trying to establish a timeline for you guys. So we're talking 2016. That's when I did a lot of classes and training. 17. So then I took a break.
Right.
I took a break.
Right.
Um, and breaks are good
Yes,
because
they are. When you juggle a lot too, you're a star on the stage. You're a, you're a
makeup
I
artist,
mean, yeah, I mean, you're doing all sorts of things. I completely understand.
also a speech pathologist.
I,
So
I,
I took 2 years studying speech pathology, but during those 2 years when I was in grad school, that's when I was taking some classes. That's when those classes happened, like 2016, 2018. I was like sharpening up my skills behind the scenes. Wasn't doing too many clients, really like circle of influence people, close family, friends, um, and just taking classes, learning.
right.
Um, I was in that learning mindset anyway. So that's what happened there. After I graduated in 2018 from Howard HU, if there's any Howard people in the house.
There might be on the replay.
Oh yes. So after graduating in 2018, like people, like, still circle of influence friends, but then there was a moment that happened that
What was
made
it?
me come back to makeup, really. I think this happened in 2019. I did makeup for a cousin of a friend. She was going to prom, and did her makeup. It was beautiful. COVID is already up. COVID, no, COVID. No, so this was 2020 then. Okay, but
Right.
anyway, this is 2020. 2020, I did her makeup, and she ended up on TV. And, like,
Really?
people on the news talking about, "Oh, her makeup's so beautiful. Okay, look at her." Yes. I was just like, and I'm looking at the news like, "Kendra, you gotta do something. Like, girl, you gotta do something," because it's like your calling will continue to slap you in the face
Yeah.
until you wake up and actually do something about it. Like, I don't think it was by chance that all of these classes by pro artists were, you know,
Gifted.
gifted to
Yeah.
me. Like,
Mhm.
that doesn't really happen. So when something is for you, it's for you. I truly believe that. So when I saw that, I said, no, I got to make this into a business. This was 2020. Everything was closed anyway. Like, like it gave us a lot of time to reflect.
Yeah.
And a part of that reflection was like, where do I want this to go? Because it has to go somewhere. Can't just sit on it. So, but so still talking what happened between classes and LLC, getting a little closer.
Mm.
Um, I decided to invest in a business coach.
Yes.
That was hard. It's like you, investing in yourself is hard. I don't know why it is. Like it should not be.
Yes.
When it comes with a price tag, especially a four-figure price tag, it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Sorry, my phone is ringing in the background.
That's okay. That's okay. We're
Okay.
at home.
Yes, we are at home. We are at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially when it comes with a four-figure price tag, I was like, is this really something I want to do? Is this
Yeah.
really something I want to do? So like eventually I said I had to just reflect on everything that has happened up until that point, and the answer was yes. I had to sleep on it, pray on it, and the answer was always yes. It was never a no. So I'm
Yeah.
like, why do you think it's a no now?
Yeah.
Um, and that's another thing, your mindset. That's a big one. That's a big one.
Yes, I definitely want to get into that. So I have a
Okay,
mindset.
we're gonna save that. We're gonna save that.
Yeah, we're gonna say that one.
Okay, but then I invested into a business coach, and boom, it's just like perspective. That's another
Yeah.
thing in business. Whoa, it's like a methodology. It's like a separate thing. Like artistry is cool. That's one thing, but then business
Yeah.
is a whole nother beast. And learning that and learning the psychology of that through my business coach has been life changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so as your clientele start to increase, like you're traveling more, people are asking you to come to this state, do this. People are like at that point, you're starting to sign contracts. You need a LLC.
Yeah.
You to get a business account, you have to have an LLC. You have to have an EIN. You have to have these things. So there was no escaping it unless you want Uncle Sam to come after you, and
Yeah.
you have to be reporting this somehow. Okay. So and you have to protect yourself. So the
Yeah.
LLC does protect you so people don't come after my personal assets like your house, your
Yeah.
car.
Yes. But we
um
know the US is playing no games when it comes to those
they
taxes.
don't.
And you know what? In Trinidad too, it has been it has been more strict as of late. And we don't have LLCs, we have LTDs, so we have limited liability companies, which kind of sounds like LLC, but they call it LTD, you know. We don't even want to kind of discuss why the difference. Um,
Yeah.
so we have that, and you really do have to kind of get how should I say, compliant.
Mhm.
And you really want to do that. And I find that once you register your business, it puts you on in a different mindset. It changes your, I guess, perspective. Because you're like, okay, I actually have to make this money. I need to go out there and do this. I need to go out there and make the effort, find the clients, do this, do that, make the money. You know what I mean? So it kind of puts you on track to stop kind of dipping your toe in,
Mhm.
and for you to kind of actually step into
The purpose,
um
yeah.
purpose. And I really really like that, right? So that was really good. And of course, once you, I like to say, I like to compare it to being inside of your, let's say, your factory settings. Like when you get a package from a new package and it's like wrapped up in a particular way, and you open it, and then you make an attempt to close it again, but it
Yes.
never kind of closes in the same way. The package just never quite goes back on. And that is what it's like receiving new knowledge. You have to expand. You can't kind of remain small. So that was really cool, right?
Mhm.
So okay. So what I want to ask you is, of course, we talk about branding, we talk about showing up, we talk about visibility, you talk about differentiation. How did your content change? Because of course you were doing content all the time. How did your content change once you made an investment in that business coach and she really started talking to you about the business elements of your craft, not just showing up with a brush? But how do we kind of make it happen, make it marketing, sales? How did that work for you?
Yes. So content. Ooh, I gotta think. So back, so okay, content shifts all the time. Like the type of content people want to see shifts all the time. Algorithms, I think someone told me the YouTube algorithm just changes almost several times per day. Like it's crazy how many times things change. And
Yeah.
it's like you have to keep up with those changes. So if you want to still create the same content that was popular in 2016, that's fine. You just won't get seen. That's just what it is. So, um, content has changed from just showing, a picture.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's show like the slide. Like, let's go through and see all these different types of pictures. Oh,
Yes.
now let's show a single video. Let's show a reel. Let's show a TikTok. Like, it's consistently changing. So since I invested in a business coach, she taught me the types of content that gets suppressed by Instagram. She
Yeah.
taught me the types of content that, is kind of popular on Instagram. Um, on a surface level, but even deeper than that, when it comes to business, what are you trying to communicate?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because
That's a
that's
big.
what branding is, right? Branding is communication.
Hmm. So, what are you trying to communicate with your audience? Okay, because at the end of the day, if you're selling something, your audience has to trust you.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to trust, they're looking for consistency. Does your page look consistent? Is there something that they can see on your page? Some
Yeah.
people choose to do themed colors, like certain like color palettes.
Yes.
Some people like have like the 9 grid and they make it one theme and they do another 9 grid that's another theme. But there's some level of consistency posting. Like, can you this is the last time you posted a year ago. Like, not like, come on. So you have to, so the content changes as in the message that you're trying to send. You're not
Yeah.
trying to sell with every post, but you're trying to sell with every post. The way that you do it is different though. So I posted a content that just says, "Oh, let me tell you a secret. Like, come and join my VIP list. Something is coming." So that prepares my client or my audience that, "Oh, I need to be on the lookout." Or, "Oh, I need to do some action." Like you're trying to get your viewers to perform an action.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then like sometimes you may post something that people may look at and think it's aesthetically beautiful. Oh, I like that. I want to look like that. Okay, especially if you're in a beauty business where you're basically selling aesthetic or a type of look. You want your clients or your future clients to look on your page and say, "Oh, that's beautiful, that's nice." Okay,
Yeah.
so that's
Hmm.
another type of content. But then um you also want to be relatable. So when your clients look at you, do they see themselves? Do they see somebody that they can easily approach? If
Hmm.
you're telling people in your bio, "Oh, don't send me no DM." Right.
Yes. Oh my God.
See, I am shocked how many
Oh, yes.
businesses,
Yes. I see that sometimes. Yes, I
no
do.
DMs. Okay, well then I'm not contacting you. Like what, like that turns off so many potential clients. Like, why do you say that to people? I'm
Yeah.
like, you're trying to
Let's
say,
let's take a peek at your Instagram and see
yeah,
what it
just
looks like. Because I noticed something. I noticed that you, but first of all, based on what you described just now, it's clear that you recognize the need for a good content mix, right? Which
Mm,
is content strategy in and of itself. So you want content that sells, you want content that's relatable, you want content that is like teasing and inviting people to take action, which is really important when you really want to engage people and build that relationship with the community. So you want to communicate with them in different ways,
what
right?
you want to.
So I always tell people, well, this is the analogy I use. The analogy I use is, let's just say you have a friend, and every time you see that friend, they ask you, "Can I get $20? Can I get $20? Can I get $20? Can I get $10? Can that is exactly what it feels like when you tell people, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this from me. People are like, oh my gosh, like we hearing and seeing the same thing over and over again. Can we see a little something different, please? Right?
Right.
We connect, please? Can we talk a little bit, please? Can you help us a little bit, please? Right?
Mhm,
And I love the fact that you talked about having different types of content, and that's important to your content mix. And I'm actually going to be posting something about that tomorrow, guys. So look out for it, about content mix. I'm glad that you talked about it
oh yeah.
as well. And what I also love about your page too, I love that you incorporated things other than faces, which is another thing that a lot of creatives do. Which I also have something. Sometimes you may go to like a makeup artist page, and all you see is faces, faces. But I like how you have pictures of yourself at work, yourself, your table, you know, and you really kind of diversify so people kind of get to see who is the person here, and you have your own dedicated page. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you recognize the need to streamline your gram, right? And I think that was pretty cool. I
Oh,
like that a lot. Right. So guys, this is her Instagram profile, Kendra Bliss Beauty. Of course, feel free to go follow her. I'm going to put up Kendra's Instagram profile before we close tonight's show. Right.
thank you.
So I really like that. So Karen is on. Hello, Karen. I haven't seen you in such a long time. Karen is saying hashtag facts, baby. Facts. That's
That's it.
so that is really really thing. So I also want to talk a little bit about, okay, so just now you hinted at mindset. So I know 20 no, I saw a post from you and you said 2021 was one of your best years ever, and I'm really happy that it was, hashtag the best for you. So, and of course, this is the year. Last year was the year you established your business, and you really took major strides in moving into being kind of moving away from being kind of hodgepodge, and making a little money here and there, to actually being a business owner, LLC register. You got your EIN, you pay your taxes, you got your QuickBooks, you got your account, blah blah blah. Keeping on top of things. Now, of course, business is 50% mindset, 50% 50% systems. When those two come together, I think you could have a winning combination. Might have a few things here and there that you need to. So I want you to talk about what were the biggest changes for you, mindset wise first, and then I want you to talk about what were the biggest changes you made to systems to ensure that your business could run successfully.
Okay. Mindset and systems. Okay. So, biggest changes to mindset. It's like thinking about like how you grew up and your beliefs about money. Whoa.
Yeah.
Just that topic itself, like people tell you money's the root of all evil, money causes all these things to happen. Does money really cause that? So it's like that's one aspect, but I had to realize that my thoughts are my emotions on steroids, and those are not facts.
Mm.
Your thoughts are your emotions heightened or like, "Ugh," but they're not facts. They're not.
Yes. You should quote that. Your thoughts are your emotions and steroids. Dash Kendra Bliss.
But they're
Put
not.
it in our Instagram tile.
Yes, like they're just thoughts. And so I just had to realize that these are just limiting beliefs. Like, why am I thinking like this? Why? And just deciphering the thought, okay, I'm not going to get any clients. I don't know enough. Why do you think that?
Mm.
Like, why? Like,
Mhm.
and that's not even a fact. That's just your thought, right?
Yeah.
And changing that mindset to be, oh, I'm losing my train of thought of like where I was going with this, but I had to stop that. I had to really stop thinking that I wasn't, because when you think you're not, you're not. That's
Yeah.
just what it is. Oh yeah, and where is that thought coming from?
Yeah.
It's usually coming from a place of fear.
Yeah.
So when you're like when you're scared, low, like deep down, you have all of these limiting beliefs over it. And you can compare it to an iceberg. It's like all of this stuff is happening under the surface, but over the surface, you just have this belief. It's like this one ice cap, you're thinking this way, but under that, it's all of the years of people telling you you can. Oh, that's not going to be nothing. Oh, so you're believing that and you're taking that all in and it's growing. And so it becomes fear. And then your thought is, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I had to get out of that. Like I've had family members that tell me, why are you spending all this money on makeup? You're spending so much money. Yeah, because I was coming out of college and I was literally spending buku, like buku money because I was making no money. I was
Yeah.
spending that money on makeup and my business and investing it into myself, and then people telling me it's too much.
Mm.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So just trying to get yourself out of those limiting beliefs and that mindset is so huge. Like there's going to be people who doubt you.
Yeah.
That's okay. No matter what you do, no matter who you are, actually, like celebrities, like people who have booming businesses. It's not like Rihanna. Don't think that everybody was behind her all the time. I'm sure that
Mm.
people were like, "What are you doing? You're doing a beauty business. You're a music artist. Like what?" So like you can almost hear people already saying that. So
Yeah.
no matter what it is, you're going to have people who are against you and you're going to have people who are for you. Okay. Whatever energy you let in is up to you. So you have to just, yeah. I use this app called Headspace and it's like a meditation app. Um, and it lets us think about our thoughts in a different way. Like, okay, a thought pops in. Okay, it's there. Let it fade to black. Oh, a thought pops in. It's like you know that you acknowledge its presence, but you don't internalize it and make it mean something. It doesn't have to mean. So that's just about mindset. That's like brief about mindset because mindset could be
It could be large.
much more.
I,
Yes.
you were saying something there, and it dawned on me that a lot of people think that even the profession of makeup artistry or the industry of beauty is not to be taken seriously. A lot of people who believe that. So, like, I was speaking to somebody here, and she's a nail tech.
Okay.
Hi, Kadeen, if you're watching this, and she was saying that a lot of people think that, like a lot of parents will think that, well, one of two things. If somebody's not very academically inclined, they're not very smart, they may not hack it, I guess, at university level, just
Hmm.
send them to do something with their hands like makeup or something like hair. Let them do a little hairdressing, and that will tie them over. Or if your parents had these big academic dreams for you, and you decide, well, I want to do makeup artistry, that could be like a big deal. That could be like a huge problem. So what you're saying is so correct. Sometimes the attitudes that are entrenched in us to doubt ourselves comes from the fact that we've been hearing that certain professions just is not worth it. Meanwhile, there are makeup artists who are making hand over fist money over people who are like, and there's nothing wrong with grinding 9 to 5, doing your thing.
Ew.
As somebody who has spent enormous amounts of money on academic education, I don't think I've made back all the money I spent.
Hmm.
Right? I don't think I've made back all the money I spent leveraging those degrees. And now that I'm at a place where I can actually start doing beauty, I feel good about going in this direction because I love this anyway and I have this, to back it up. So I agree with you 100%.
Hmm.
Sometimes where those thoughts are coming from are places that we didn't even think about investigating. It's people telling us that over a long time.
Mhm. Yep, and those people are close to you. That's the thing. Those people are close to you, and that's why you start to believe it.
Yeah.
Um, but your beliefs. are not fact. Unfortunately, that's how it is. But you have to remind yourself your beliefs come from your values. Um,
Yes.
but are they really fact? So just reframing your mindset and your thoughts, and not seeing things as and assigning it a meaning that it doesn't have to mean. Like, learn from, if you call it what you would call a failure, excuse me, learn from it. Like,
Yeah.
there's a reason why it didn't come out the way that you wanted it to come out. But why is that? Like, don't just say, "Oh, I failed," and just shove it to the side. See that as a learning opportunity, so the next time you do
Yeah.
it better. So
Yeah.
that's mindset. You said systems.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah. How did you improve your systems?
I improved my systems by, wait, hold on, even just having a website. Thank you, Jesus. Like,
Yes, website. So let's take a look at your website. Let's take a look at your website, which is so fly, by the way.
thank you.
Simple and sweet, nothing too cumbersome or confusing. Because some websites can be really overwhelming. Hi, I'm Kendra. And
Hmm.
pictures are quite hot and sexy, I must say so. Looking good, baby girl.
Thank
Looking
you.
good. With all the clients here. So
Very
I,
simple.
I
Thank
love the way you just brought people straight, book an appointment.
you. Mhm.
People have a couple options. So let me see if I could go back here. If I could go back here and we could see.
It's very simple. Like the main page, so there's reasons why. Exactly. So this is the main page. Book me,
Yeah,
take my class, the Glam Suite. Like, there's only three options, because
easy.
you don't want people to get distracted looking at XYZ. You want people to come, like, what you came here for, what you gonna see. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think some of us, like I've been reading a book called two things I've actually looked at. Two different people. Russell Brunson with his book Experts .com Secrets, which I think is somewhere behind me. That one's Expert Secrets. And the
Mhm.
other one is Story Brand. And both of those um books advocate really strongly for keeping it simple. And I love the way that you keep it simple on your website. Is that you commit a book, take a class, or join your glam suite, or chat if you have a question. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So tell us
Mhm.
a little bit about this website.
Okay, so Book Me was a page we were previously on,
Yeah,
and then Take My Class. If you want to take a class to learn on your makeup skills, the Glam Suite 2022. That is a beauty suite. So I rent out. It's already booked. A beauty suite that I rent out every year. I have. You get your makeup done. You get your pictures taken. You get champagne and chocolates,
ooh,
cupcakes. It's just like a really cute Valentine's Day event. I'm thinking I want to have it, but then these COVID numbers are going crazy right now in the US. So
yeah. Omicron is
I
Omicron is,
know
you know.
Omicron is just like harder than it seems a little worse than it was last year around this time, because I did have it last year. But that is what the glam suite is, and the women really like that, especially if they didn't have like somewhere to go. Still feel special on Valentine's Day, celebrate you, love on you. So, and even if you do have a date, come get your makeup done, pregame with some champagne
Yes,
before
yes.
your date. So it's just really just to love on yourself, like cute upscale event. So
And of course, take your classes, of course, education, because you did mention that you are a makeup educator as well.
mhm.
So I
Mhm.
love that, and I think it's so simple and so easy.
Yes.
So you got a website. What else did you do in terms of improving your systems?
So improving systems, CRM. So having something to for when clients enter your booking, where do they go? Like,
Yeah,
what happens? So when clients inquire with me, they can inquire on my website, and
yeah,
that inquiry comes straight to my mailbox.
yes,
And then I have templates. So I can just send out, if you're a bride, you can send out a proposal. You can send out the appointment time if you're just a one-time client, regular client, for a regular makeup appointment. I'm starting to look into, they call them CRM. So basically like Honeybook or Dubsado. or like these websites that basically, your clients can come to, and just like it shows you every step of the process,
Yeah.
like
You could
from
try, you could even try HubSpot. That's
Hub-
another one as well.
HubSpot.
You can actually use it for free for a bit of time before you actually pay. You
Okay.
know, could check it out and see if you like that. But yeah, that CRM is really important. That customer relationship management system is important to kind of keep on top of things.
Oh
I
yeah,
like,
Dubsado. I use Dubsado now for like, emailing, cuz you another thing about having an email list is like you have to keep it, warm. You know,
yes,
talk to your clients or potential clients or past clients, tell them what you're doing. Even if they don't respond, they're looking, and you can see how many of them do look.
yeah,
How
yeah,
many people click. And that's how I also do my launches. So if I'm doing a launch, if I decide to do the launch for the Glam Suite, hey, like this is happening, and they get like a VIP, like, okay, I'm doing like a pre-sale, or you get like a small token, or whatever the case is, to just give them incentive to be on the list. But that's in case Instagram shuts down tomorrow, Facebook shuts down tomorrow, wherever, you still have your client list. Like,
yeah,
if Instagram disappears, your clientele shouldn't, like, no.
yeah,
So I also have them, tucked away just in case your Instagram gets hacked. Anything could happen. So definitely I use that system to stay in touch with clients and to make sure that when I send something out, I know when it's read, I know when it's received.
yeah,
Um, PayPal, different systems that just make your life easier. It's easy to send an invoice. Like, you don't have to do much.
yeah,
um, this oh yeah, there's like, I haven't gotten into like the texting systems yet. You could text your clients, but that's also successful, because it's like people always have their phone in their hand, so they can see the messages pop up. But slowly but steadily growing, for sure.
yeah. Yeah, and that's good. I guess what systems have done for you is that simplify the amount of things you have to do,
Hmm.
automate things that you would normally spend time doing here, doing there, doing this, doing
Hmm.
that. And they've kind of connected from your website to your inbox, to your payment system, to your contracts, um, and all those things that people are looking for when it comes to booking a service, even to book your glam suite. People could book it right on your website. So I like the simplicity, and that's the beauty in systems, right? You could process a lot of people and you don't have to feel overwhelmed. You know,
Right.
I definitely want to implore, especially like a lot of the creatives right here in the Caribbean, that something as simple as getting a booking button on your Instagram page will change your life. Trust me. And they're free ones. Acuity is free. It integrates with Instagram. You can get it done, or even like a web page. It doesn't have to be a whole website. Make your bookings
Where?
easy.
Mhm.
Square. I don't know if we have Square. I don't know. Where we have all systems are not a go. Houston, we have a problem. All systems are not a go here. But Acuity, I know, works for sure. If you have Calendly, that works well as well. I mean, people get texts, people get emails and reminders, booking buttons, especially if you're a beauty service provider. You want to manage, you don't want a whole bunch of people coming to you at once. So I love that you had systems, you open your mind and you saw the possibilities. So
Mhm.
that was really, really awesome. And I, of course, I see nothing but growth for you from here. So, of course, we've been talking for the last almost 45 minutes, probably
Yes.
even a little bit more. So, I just want to kind of close off things tonight, right? Oh, look, we have a comment here coming in from Michelle, and she's saying, yes, it will. That book button is life changing. It absolutely
Mhm.
is.
Simplicity.
Yeah, it simplifies things so much. So before we close off, I just want you to answer one more question for me. I saw that you work with a fashion designer this year. Is it Ase Asenabor? Is that the
I
store?
say, Senabor, yes.
Yeah, I saw that's a big glam bridal shop with all these avant-garde gowns. So tell me how you managed to pull such a great opportunity. Where did that come from, and what was the outcome of that?
So I you have to stay plugged in,
Yeah,
So nobody's gonna just come here and give you opportunities. If you want something, you need to go get it, okay? So
Exactly.
I stay on top of what's happening in my area and who
Mhm.
is coming in my area.
Yeah.
So I am always hanging out on Eventbrite, on Facebook events, seeing what's going on, how I could plug myself in. Even if it's just not for makeup, I'm generally I want to go out, have a good time, a good person.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I saw on Eventbrite, like before like it kind of blew up, that they were coming.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this designer? I looked her up and I had to realize I had liked one of her posts that recently went viral before I knew, she was having a fashion show in my area. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I contacted the organizer um just to get some information. They never responded. Okay, that's fine. Instagram. So Instagram, I actually messaged her. I said, "Oh, you're coming to the DMV. Um, I'm a makeup artist. Because where there's models and fashion, there needs to be makeup. Like they go hand in hand, okay?
Yes.
Photography, models, makeup, attire, like they always go hand in hand. So, I just messaged her and she's like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm on the plane right now, but definitely send a message to such and such." I sent a message, I actually called. Oh yeah, there's a power in calling people, okay?
Definitely.
Call.
We live in a text generation. I still like
Right.
phone calls. And it's meaningful when people do pick up the phone and call. It's totally different.
Mhm.
So you pick up the phone and call, right?
I picked up the phone and called the person that she told me to call. So they are talking to me like, "Oh, okay. Do you have a team?" I said, "No, but I can get you one."
Yes.
And
And I
my
said yes, and then call all my people. I need you. I need you.
right. I said, well, no, it's really just, but I can get you one. Like, I can do this. And mind you, it's like T minus like 3 days before the show, 4 days. Like, it happens so quickly
Mhm.
how, like, it's not a big set of planning time, especially sometimes things happen last minute. You got to be ready to go.
Mhm.
So I literally contacted my inner circle of makeup artists
Mhm.
um in the area that I know, and so I just dropped the opportunity and people came because people knew, like, she's like, "Oh wow, essay." People came who actually live in Texas where she lives. "Oh, I didn't read it right. I don't, she's not here, she's in DC. Oh, my bad." Like, people really wanted to do this event, and because I was doing all of the behind the scenes work, I got the makeup artists together, I got the hair team, like I asked, like, so they got the hair person, so I contacted the hair, she got her team together. So now we have a hair team. Now we have a makeup artistry team. Just coordinating everybody and just being pleasant to people. Like, you can so surprised how being pleasant and being nice, being polite goes a long way. So once I did that, like they were like, "Oh my gosh, you just basically took this big worry off of our lap. Like, thank you so much." And then the fashion show itself was exciting because, this is like, I usually shy away from fashion shows, not gonna lie, because
It's a
sometimes
lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. I've
it's
done
a
makeup artistry and a fashion show before, and the designer was going crazy. And we were like,
right. And
Mhm.
then like sometimes like you don't get paid. And so I'm just like, it was just a lot that was going on. Like, you sometimes you feel like, ugh, I'm doing all of this, but for what? And the reason why it's for is because fashion shows really sharpen your skills as an artist. It sharpens your time. Like, I did faces, I set the timer on my phone, 30 minutes, boom, 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 done. Like, we had to get 20 models in and out. And that's a little bit. Sometimes it's 100 models and like a team of 10 women. Like, it's sometimes crazy. So, um that opportunity came from asking and putting yourself out
Out
there,
there.
because I saw another makeup artist who just got into the DM of a celebrity, and the celebrity said, "Oh yeah, can you do my makeup? Oh yeah, sure, come do my makeup." So opportunities are out there. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there, not
Yeah.
being afraid of what their response is. not making it mean something it has doesn't have to mean. Okay, they said no, fine. Next.
Yep. Yep.
Next. So just asking and putting yourself out there will change your life. So that's how that.
Yeah, and definitely something I had to learn as well. It's not every rejection you should take personally. Sometimes people it's just not right at the time. It's not you. It's just doesn't work, right?
Right.
Michelle is saying yes. Hashtag pick up the phone. Yes, Michelle, pick up the phone. I know we live in a texting DM WhatsApp generation, but phone calls will never go out of style because communication will never go out of style. Proper communication, reaching out to people, letting them hear your voice. Hello, they want to talk to people. So definitely. All right. So Kendra Bliss, this is a really great roundup of your story and how you raise funds from GoFundMe to get into your makeup classes, and from there, class upon class was gifted to you. And I love how you just put yourself out there, and boom, you ended up on this enormous fashion show. And now you not only were you the makeup artist, but you were like the project manager because you had two teams under your guide. So I think, as you said, putting yourself out there, asking the questions. I know just I actually have okay. I know I have written a bunch of things for people um to come out. So some of this will be coming out over the next few weeks, like how to send a direct message that's cool and easy. Some people don't even know how to do that, how to initiate that communication. But of course, practice makes permanent and better. And you can just definitely stay tuned to my socials to see the carousels and the stuff and the Instagram to see all about that. All right. So Kendra Bliss, I want to thank you so much for coming on tonight, guys. I want to remind you to check out Kendra's Instagram, Kendra Bliss Beauty, and check out if you're in the DMV area, or even if you're anywhere and you want to book one of her classes, do so. I'm sure they're virtual. Yes, they are virtual. And if you're in the DMV area and you want to get your makeup done, KendraBlissBeauty.com. Book your time, get your makeup done, and when I come to the DMV area, which is hopefully soon, you can we can have fun and do a few cool things. Let's see what 2022 brings. I'm working on some stuff. We'll see how it goes. And it will be awesome. Okay. So
Yeah.
Kendra, it was amazing and love in the house. Great interview. Thank you, Arlene.
Thank you so much.
Um, so guys, follow Kendra. Of course, stay tuned to the socials for more branding advice, more lipstick advice, more beauty advice right here on the Lipstick Effect. We will see you next week for another episode and loads of advice. Take care and have a great night.
Bye.